You guys see this? I was hoping this guy would pass me. Basically, he was coming on Highway 2. I was driving on 11, right? And he was coming from Moose Jaw, basically, where Highway 2 connects with 11. And this thing is so huge. We're not gonna keep it there for long. Now I measured the gap with my feet, and I have a size 30 shoe. It was 13. Then I grabbed this brand new shiny measuring tape, a gift from Alan from Keswick. Who else? This guy is just showering me with stuff. Thank you, Alan. I do appreciate this, because you know, quite often these things they get rusty, you see, and then they stop moving. So this is my old one, and you see his is wider, I think, but I wish they would put metric in here. Anyway, I was waiting for this guy to move, but he doesn't want to move. So we can have a couple of more chewable vitamin C. Oh, maybe a couple of potassium. So this is the Flying J, just east of Regina, Saskatchewan. I thought I was doing good in terms of travel, and I just checked my distance to the consignee. It's still 850 clicks, over 500 miles, 530 miles. And I'm slowly running out of patience and money, but we're all hoping for the big payday at the end of the rainbow. So the next, so you see this is Regina, so I'm east on Trans-Canada 1, but I'm not going like this. I have to take this 11 and then go on 11 all the way to, that's my next stop. But I'm telling, I need to turn on this 15, and the Manitoba permit. Well, that's where this guy from. He has a Manitoba license plate. The Manitoba permit was $265 Canadian. Saskatchewan permit was $650. Same weight, same everything. I said, guys, what's going on? You know, why is it so much more money than Manitoba, let's say? And the guy talked to me on the phone. He says, well, it's 760 kilometers. That's why. So what do you guys think? So I measured, yeah, so when I measured with my feet it was 13, and then when I remeasured with the tape it was 14 feet 5 inches. And at the bottom I'm 11:10, but at the top I'm 12:07. Man, it is tight. Well, they have a bunch of pumps in here, so if one is out of commission, no big deal. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. It's like my joke with the mailboxes. I never hit anything. We see I'm going in low one. Low one. I think we're good. Just want that guy to my right to know what's going on, which way I'm going. And they have these double 53 footers over here. And usually that's a good indication if you see these guys going into a truck stop. And by the way, he ran a stoplight, stop sign. We cannot do that because we are recording. So you have to be 100% legal. Guys, I always say, remember this. If you remember this little trick, just keep everything legal, or the way you usually do it.
300 meters to the right onto Saskatchewan 46 East.
And why I put the camera on the back there, it's because I'll be going through some craziness. I don't like this truck stop because the approach is not easy. But check the price: 128.9 is cash for diesel, $28.9 Canadian per 1 liter. So it's already cheaper, but the credit card is 129.9, basically $1.30. But it's still already cheaper than in Dryden, which never happened before. You know, Dryden was always cheaper. And this is
Right onto Saskatchewan 46 East.
And this is Saskatchewan, right? Man, yeah, this is tight. I think we can go. Yeah, there's nobody there. Yeah.
Meters at the roundabout, take the first exit onto the Trans-Canada Highway, Saskatchewan 1 West ramp.
It really helps that I have the Stinger, because you know, some of these turns you gotta wonder what the truck would do if I had a quad trailer. Yeah, I see that says the roundabout to the right is Highway 1 West, Regina. That's why I wanted to, that's why I put the camera on the back there. Check this out, look at this. It's just nuts. Just stop here and
We found a faster route via Saskatchewan 11 North, which saves 20 minutes if you prefer to stay. In 600 meters, merge onto Trans-Canada Highway, Saskatchewan 1 West.
what are you talking about? I don't want to go. I cannot go. Yeah, I see, that's what it wants to do. It wants me to go like that. I cannot go like that, but I have to go south around and then back. But it wants me to go on the shortcut, but I need Trans-Canada 1 and then 11. So it's gonna be a very long detour. And I always have issues with synchronizing footage with these cameras, so that's why now I'm not turning it off, you know. So now I'm gonna put it somewhere here probably. And this way, because I started them, you know, I put one on my head and then I
Head southwest toward Trans-Canada Highway, Saskatchewan 1 West.
you see it keeps rerouting me. Where is this come from? Okay, this was from this one. So see, now this way I started them at the same time inside the truck. I put one on my head and I started that one, and so now it should be easier for me, because I noticed that quite a few times, you know, oh, I forgot to clean the windshield, but I have a full tank of windshield wash I bought yesterday. What was the name of the town? Sumis? I think it was Sumis, Manitoba. On Highway 2.
In 600 meters, merge onto Trans-Canada Highway, Saskatchewan 1 West.
That's not very smooth, Captain Sergei. We're gonna edit this out. Don't worry about that. Because it's downhill. That's when you don't wanna accelerate too fast, because then the RPM are faster than what they should be, right? Because you go downhill. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys the dashboard, but the last video, yeah, it looks cool, but you can hardly see the gauges, you know. And okay, the cruise control is set at 1320 RPM, 1320, 91 kilometers an hour, 56 miles per hour. Of course, now I cannot see anything, but I cannot see the distance, but it's okay. Yeah, 13 kilometers. Google wants me to keep right in order to go on the ring road. A road, that's like the old bypass. But now there's a new bypass, which basically you have to go south, and it's a huge loop around Regina, but that's how I am routed. So I gotta follow that. That's why I was at that Sumis. I think it was Sumis. S-O-U-M-A-S or U-S, something like that. I know I read up on it online, and it said that it's famous for having the longest hanging bridge. You know, like a rope bridge. I bet people that are thinking of suicide would be happy in that little town, because you can go on that rope and just bring some big scissors, cut the rope, you're done. You don't have to step in front of a bus, you know, it's very clean. And the Wikipedia said the reason they created that hanging rope bridge was because this river that the town is named after, the river was dividing the community. It was dividing the community, so they created this crazy bridge, and it was destroyed already 2 times by, you know, rising water in the spring, and then I think there was a fire. So now there's like version 3 of this bridge, but it's still pretty much rope and wooden boards. But now they have, you know, real solid steel cables on each bank. But they say that's the longest bridge in Canada, but it's like, I don't know, maybe 20 meters, 60 feet. And so that's why I got the windshield wash. So there was a lot of room in there. I was able to go back to the side. I found a grocery store. And I wanted to do my Alberta permit application, but I decided, you know, I'm still so far away, so I'm gonna do it tonight. So the plan tonight is so this next stop, right? So if now I was 850 clicks away, the next stop is about 200 kilometers. So from that stop, I'll be about 650 clicks, or just over 400 miles. And then I want to do another 2 hours after that, because right now it's only 2:24 my time, or 1:24 Y24 local time. So yeah, so I'm gonna be there. It says 2 o'clock. I highly doubt that, which is 3:18. What are you talking about? How, if it's 1:24 now, it says I'll be there at 2:18. Maybe the time zone changes, but I think it's still 1 hour. And of course, as usually happens in these parts, they have a strong wind, and it's not in my favor because it's blowing sideways or in my face. I especially hate it when it blows sideways, because then your whole truck, you know, you have to keep from going on the shoulder, because that yellow monster catches a lot of wind. All right, I see Regina, big buildings in the distance. So recently there's been a tendency, a lot of Eastern immigrants from the East, from Asia, you know, India, China, they've been moving in here, because here the everything is cheaper, you know, real estate is cheaper, and the taxes are lower. Because in Ontario, it's just crazy, 13%. Like, you buy a car, you buy a house, there's a 13%. Like, of course, necessities like bread or meat, I don't think there's there's no HST, this harmonized sales tax, 13%. But everything else, you have to pay for it. And if it's not a business expense, you don't get it back, right? Like, for me, that 13%, of course, is inside my truck payment, my trailer payment, so I get it back. The government pays me back, actually. Not just like a credit towards your business expenses. No, I get that money back, 100%, every month. Like this month I'm supposed to get 1300 Canadian, 1300. Because it changes a little bit every time, because when I buy fuel in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, I can claim that sales tax as well. Like especially Ontario, so 13%, you know, let's say you spend $500, you multiply by 100 and you divide by 113, and it'll be like 450, right? And then the rest is tax. And so I get that roughly 50 bucks back, you know? And so, but if you're just buying a house, you don't get it back. So it just increases your expenses, your living expenses, right? And so people are moving here. Alberta is, I don't like Alberta. Alberta is dirty and too busy. But actually over there, the weather can be nicer. Okay, I see the big sign, so which way is... Okay, we have to keep to the left. So basically, yeah, over here the road forks. The left lanes go on TCH1, Trans-Canada 1, which is the bypass. And if you keep going straight, that hooks up with the ring road and takes you like the old bypass, small one. And you see like this, it says West Moose Jaw, 2 lanes here. If you stay in this lane, where are you? 2 lanes.
600 meters, slight left to stay on Trans-Canada Highway.
Yeah, from this lane I can go straight, or I can go this way. So this is good. But yeah, I need this one.
Next left to stay on Trans-Canada Highway, Saskatchewan 1 West.
Trans-Canada 1 West.
Continue on Saskatchewan 1 West for 24 kilometers.
Moose Jaw. And of course all the signs are metric. And the speed...
West route via Saskatchewan 11 North, which saves 17 minutes if you prefer to stay on the current route. No thanks.
Alright, so now it should reroute me the way I need to go, actually. Yeah. Now check this out. Does this guy even know that he doesn't have a trailer in the back? You know, sometimes I gotta wonder. The guy has the dolly. He has the dolly for the second trailer, but no trailer. But it's useless to call them. Oh yeah, you see this thing, this crazy thing still wants...
Kilometers, take exit 237 for Regina, stay route
Still wants me to go.
Avenue, Princess.
Still wants me to go through downtown. So I just had to mute it. Otherwise, if I don't take that exit, it'll keep rerouting me at every next exit until finally there's no sense going there, so it'll just send me this way. Yeah, so we are very far from the actual Regina. Well, actually, I did pass the sign, right? The sign said Regina, but this is like the outskirts. And now we're going further away, so the downtown is that way. And this is good. So this is a new bypass they built a few years back. Oh, by the way, maybe I'll meet it again. All day today, I was playing catch with a train. You guys should have seen it. It was pretty much a container train. Half of them were stacked too high, and I was driving and trying to figure out, like, how tall is that? So if a typical container is, let's say, 8 feet, 8 times 2 is 16, and then of course you have to add the height of the platform car. So it's like 20 feet at least. So these guys are lucky that they don't have, oh, maybe it was coming in here. Can I see there's a yard here where with big cranes where I can unload these containers. But that crazy train, I caught up with it in the morning, and then I passed it, and then I stopped for like 20 minutes after 2 hours, and then that train passed me, so I'm passing it again. It was about, I don't know, 3 kilometers long, honestly, like, what is it, like 1.5 miles. And it had 2 locomotives in the very front, and then it had 1 in the middle. I was driving next to it because the railroad was right here. I was driving next to it like, 15 minutes, because I set my cruise control just like now, 91 clicks an hour, and that thing was going pretty much the same speed, and I slowly was passing it. It took forever. That train was something. And I'm looking at all those containers, I'm thinking, man, this one train has so many containers, probably they wouldn't even fit on one ship, like one of those container ships. And why would they have containers in the middle of Saskatchewan? I don't know. Well, the first time I saw that guy, it was Manitoba, right? Because that Suri's place. Uh-oh, now this is dangerous. You know, guys, what this is? Check this out. You see this? There's a camera and there's a scale. That's what got me in trouble in Maryland. And then there's the guy sitting somewhere in an ambush. And so you go over that scale, they scale you. And then there's a bunch of cameras there, they capture your license plate. Yeah, once I was going here, but the opposite way, and I had a huge scraper, one of those things that when they need to level the field, like a big one, like with a rock truck, except it picks up dirt at the bottom, right? And these 2 guys started chasing me, like 2 cops. But they were not stopping me, they would just pass me and then stop on the side, and I couldn't understand what the heck they were doing. They stopped me. I said, guys, I'm just curious, what were you doing passing me and stopping and then looking at me? And they said, we tried to read your license plate. Man, so that's what happens when you cut your resources. So basically you need 2 cops, one to drive and the other one in the back seat, with a camera or something, or binoculars, Hey Jimmy, slow down. Okay, I got his plate in focus. It's S, no wait, it's C1. Wait, slow down, Jimmy. No, I think it's I, C, I, and then I think it's Z. No, C. No, it's F. Jimmy, slow the heck down. Everything is shaking. All right, we gotta pull him over. I cannot read this thing, even with binoculars. And so yeah, they pulled me over and they said, okay, we're gonna escort you to a scale. And these guys, because land is cheap, so they built their own little personal scale. Like, there's no house, there's no inspection station, it's just a scale which they can open, and there's like a big metal box in there with all the controls, right? And I'm so huge. I was with the same tandem Jeep and the Stinger, and that scraper was about 82,000 pounds. And so they scaled me, and then I had trouble getting out from there. Oh, check this out. Found it. Yes, that's how I want to go. So now if you guys see some flashing lights in the mirror, don't be surprised. No, but actually I have much more axles this time. Even though this thing is heavier, it's 92,000 pounds. Like I didn't correct the title of the first video when I was loading this, because that's what they told me. They told me 97,000 pounds, right? I load, I scale, it's never right. And so I see that my truck fifth wheel is pretty low. It's 50 psi only. Like I have to be, if I'm somewhere around 75 psi, then I know I have pretty much 40,000 in there, or 60 on the pusher and drives. But I'm pretty much at 50. So I'm guessing I have about 30,000 pounds on the truck, probably 35 on the Jeep, because Jeep usually gets more weight because it's closer to the load. Yeah, so now we're in the very south. Now this Highway 6, that's next interchange. That Highway 6 goes north, that's north. And if I take that Highway 6, it takes me right smack into the middle of Regina. I see it says exit 247, US border, Regina. So US border is, if you go south, you will eventually get into, I think it's Montana or North Dakotas, one or the other. And if you go this way north, you'll end up in Regina. Now this whole trip was challenging because of that thing, especially on 2-lane roads. And in Manitoba they sent me on a big detour. They didn't let me to go towards Winnipeg. Like I entered Manitoba from Ontario, right, on Trans-Canada 1, and thankfully, you know, then after about 10 miles into Manitoba, it becomes a 4-lane like this. It becomes a divided highway, and then you get to Winnipeg and it's a bypass called 100. And my plan was to go as usual, so I come from southeast from Ontario, then you go on a bypass like this, and then Highway 1 continues west of Winnipeg, and that's where the Flying J is, in a suburb of Winnipeg called Headingley. And I checked the price, it was $1.30 per liter. I thought, hey, I'm gonna, because Dryden was so expensive, $1.40, I didn't get much fuel, so I thought I would fill up at that Flying J in Headingley. And then I order my permit, and the lady says, oh, I'm sorry, you cannot go that way. I say, why not? And she says, well, there's construction on Highway 1 west of Brandon, Manitoba, which is like 2 hours away from Winnipeg. So why I cannot go on TCH1 and then go south or north, whatever, and do a detour? And she says, well, if it's not a trunk highway, like a truck highway, it'll take longer to approve. And so we wanted to go from TCH1, go on the bypass 100, but exit after about 15 kilometers. There's a Highway 2, and that Highway 2 is a provincial highway, so it's a pre-approved route. And Highway 2 goes all the way west, pretty much parallel to TCH1, Trans-Canada 1, except it's a 2-lane road. And there's occasional town here and there, but overall it was okay. It was actually the speed limit was 100 kilometers an hour. 60 miles per hour, not too bad. And that's why I found this Suris town, because it was already getting dark. I thought I better shut down here. And then in the morning they sent me back. I kept going this Highway 2 till I hit Highway 83 North, west of Brandon, and that's where the construction zone ended, right? So I took 83 North according to my permit, and then over there I was able to jump on Trans-Canada 1, and from that point it's been all a 4-lane divided highway. But this fun is going to end when I reach Highway 15, because that's what I have to do. So 11 is a divided freeway, but then in about 3 hours I'll have to take the exit for 15, which goes west, and then follow 15 to 4 and 14, and I enter Alberta on Highway 14. But somewhere there I'm gonna stop because it's too many miles, too many kilometers. I'm gonna stop. Like I said, so this is gonna be my first stop in about an hour and a half, and then after this one I want to do 2 more hours, and that would leave about 400 kilometers to Consignee, 240 miles, 250 miles, which is perfect, so I can do it tomorrow and deliver before lunchtime. But I haven't ordered my Alberta permit yet because I was still far, right? So I'm gonna do it when I stop for the night, because Manitoba, Alberta, I had to do it over the phone, but Alberta it's all online. So I have the access to get the permit online, and usually it's like a 2-step process. You know, first you do your application, and you click submit. All right, what's going on here? So if we stay left, we'll be on Trans-Canada 1 west towards Moose Jaw. If we stay right, we'll be on 11 north. Yeah, and that's what I want. I want 11 north. Here we go. 3 lanes. Like, these are cool. You see this? Like in the States, right? Because their land is much more expensive. They cannot do this. Like, if this was US, especially somewhere in New Jersey, you would have a ramp like this going under the bridge, then, you know, 25 miles per hour, right? Here they have 2 highways that just fork, and well, it's still a slowdown. No, actually, wait, it says 70 kilometers an hour. That's for the exit. That's a ring road. We're not going there. That's towards downtown. Actually, from here I see downtown Regina with those big buildings. It's probably 8-10 kilometers away, 5-6 miles. Yeah, it would be cool to take a picture from here. Oh, did I tell you guys I sold a picture? When was it? Like a couple of months ago. My stock agency, I was really excited about this because they paid me like 50 bucks, you know. When I was in British Columbia, what was that town? I forgot the name of the town, but I went to the university in there because from there was a cool view on the town. which was below, because it's all hills and mountains in there, right? Oh, Prince George. Yeah, it was Prince George, British Columbia. So I rented a car and I found a place where it would have great views, because I searched online like, you know, what to see in Prince George, you know, like, or good spots for photography. And I found that one. It says go to the local university, because it's at the very top of a huge hill and you'll be able to see Prince George in the valley below. And I went there and I had my Nikon D850 at that time, so now I have D780, and I used 70 to 200 millimeter f4 lens. Took a couple of shots and put them on my stock agency website, and somebody bought a picture of this Prince George, you know, like, well, because it was a very cool, very high quality, detailed, sharp picture, because that combo, Nikon D850 and the Nikon 70 to 200 f4, it's a killer. It's super sharp, you know, it has vibration reduction. But then I sold that camera when I ran out of money, and also it was heavy, and the model was 3 years old, so now I have this D780, which slightly less sharp, but it's much cheaper and it's much lighter and has a new sensor, new programming inside, you know, new software. Alright, so bye-bye Regina. Alright, and so now we see the overhead sign says Highway 11 North, Saskatoon. Saskatoon. Which is another big city in Saskatchewan. Oh, check this out. Is that the train that I was talking about? Man, I don't remember. They look similar, but I remember that thing was, like I was saying, 3 kilometers long. Yeah, it might be this one. It's on the left over there. It had a lot of double stack containers, and it had one engine in the middle and 2 in the front. I think that's the one. That's the one I've been trying to pass all day today. And we both started in Manitoba. Yeah. Yeah, because the railroad is right under this overpass. See, that's the train. That's the railroad. They have some kind of a sorting station over there, so they can take off some cars, they can add cars, they can change drivers or engine operators. So 11 North, Saskatoon, here we come. Well, this is actually, it's a treat, you know, driving in this weather. So it's in the morning it was like +4 Celsius. Now it's +22. I'm driving with my AC on. And so I'm hoping to deliver tomorrow, so I need to do my invoice today, so I can get paid. But because I'll deliver tomorrow probably around lunchtime, I won't see the money until Thursday afternoon, which is still pretty good. No chasing brokers was my choice. I don't want to chase anybody for money. I check their credit. The credit is good. The factoring company says, yeah, we're good, we like these guys. But this one, the amount was so big that the factory company said, well, we'll have to do a confirmation letter. Confirmation letter. So it's like a basic letter saying that the driver did not take out any cash advances and that there was no problems with the load, because they just want to make sure that they'll be paid. Usually they do it, I think, after 15,000 US. Yeah, if it's below 15,000, they don't need that, but they implement this one extra step. And it's just an email, or it can be even verbal. But a couple of times we had some issues with this confirmation letter, because I sent it to the broker. The broker says, well, we're gonna forward it to our accounting department, and then accounting department has no clue what we want them to do. So I remember once it took like half a day, and I kept sending emails, because without this letter I cannot get my money. And so finally that company, okay, we did it. But I think they actually did it over the phone. They said, okay, we confirmed it over the phone. We talked with your girl from the factoring company, and then later we're gonna send them a letter. And she says, well, just, that's all we need to know, pretty much a couple of points on that sheet. Because normally, right, normal routine is when I'm dealing with somebody new, I would just, you know, I go to my factoring company website, I punch in the DOT number or MC number of the broker, and it tells me right away, usually if they approved, it says up to $5,000, they approved automatically, right? If your load pays more, I just email my contact and the factoring company, I attached a screenshot of that $5,000 approval US, and I say, hey, these guys I approved, here's their DOT number, MC number, my load pays more, are you okay, you know, funding this or factoring this? And usually she would get back to me and she said, yeah, they're good. And so I checked, and so there's nothing else, right? So you do this credit check with them, and then I just create my invoice, I send them the invoice, and right away they pay me, right? But loads like this, over 15K, they add one more step. So they have to do this in writing, or at least verbally, but you know, they want to confirm before they release the money to me. All right, I'm looking at the clock. It says 47 minutes. I see a disabled vehicle. Can we mark it disabled vehicle here? Stalled vehicle. There we go. So now I added stalled vehicle. I don't know what's he doing. Maybe he's just checking his load. It was a pickup truck with a trailer with some super bags. I think I still have the battery over there. Yeah, we'll go to 1 hour, right? You guys seem to get used to my longer videos. I might cut something, you know, but yeah, I stopped by my second stop today, I think, was at the place I found on Trucker Path. And sometimes I click on reviews in there. Reviews. And one guy wrote that it's easy to get in and out. Just pull straight through. And they also include the satellite image. So I click on that, so you can see it's a huge property. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna stay there. I'm stop there because I'm so long, right? And the only inconvenience was because it's a Trans-Canada 1, there's no ramps, so you have to stop and turn left and wait for the traffic to pass, and then it's kind of like weird, but you have to cross over the median, and then it's a bit tricky to get back as well. But it was a quite big place, and it was a Petro-Canada, and I go inside, and there's a restaurant, and there's two Indian guys running the show. But I didn't have time to eat. I bought a coffee, and I bought some baby wipes. I like having those in my truck, you know, because they're so useful when you get dirty, because it has you know, it cleans your hands and it's very soft, right? It's okay. What is this? Saskatoon, Regina. That's something new. Yeah, I don't think I ever was on this road before. Like I didn't go on this 11. So which is funny that here they split. So left lane north 11 and right lane is south Regina. So I'm guessing that's the ring road. That's the shortcut that Google Maps wanted me to take. And I see on that it's gonna go like this. That's why they have 80 kilometers an hour, and now we're going down to 50. And I think we can unmute the Google Maps now, because it found the route. And we have the red zone in there. Stop traffic. Why would it be stopped? Right on the ramp. Okay, which way are we going here? Wow, this is a very interesting, I would say unusual. Again, you would never see something like this in the States. No, but look at this. Again, in US there'll be a like thing under the bridge, right? Because there's an overpass there. So instead of doing this 2 kilometer long, look, check this out. That was the bridge, right? So it would be so much cheaper to do a ramp under the bridge. But this is Saskatchewan, right? The land of the country of the land with cheap real estate. And that's, for me, that's the only explanation. But of course it's nice because here you can pick up speed, right? And so you just merge.
In 500 meters, merge onto Saskatchewan 11 north.
Yeah, you just merge with the traffic. And you're already doing pretty good, like almost 50 miles an hour. And but if I were to come out from that bridge, right, I'd be doing like 20 miles an hour.
Continue on Saskatchewan.
Oh, another scale. Another scale with cameras. See? So they scale my weights. And one funny thing about Saskatchewan that I don't understand is that when you ask them for weights, your steer axle cannot have any weight besides what you weigh empty. Let me say that again. So let's say you have a truck with a Jeep and a Stinger, right? Like mine, empty. You go on a scale, you scale your truck, and let's say empty, your front axle is, I don't know, 14,000, 15,000 pounds. That's all you will get in Saskatchewan. Like, I never heard of such a crazy thing before. They say, yeah, your front axle has to be the same as when you're empty. And so they give you 6,000 kilos. So multiply by 2.2 to get pounds. And I look at my old permit. I said, last time you gave me 6,900 kgs. And the guy said, okay, hold on. And he looked at my old permits on his computer. He said, yeah, okay, but they charge you a fee for this because you're heavy, 1,600 kilos. They charge you $125. That's why, another reason why my permit was so expensive here. Because there was, I think it was like 450 Canadian overweight charge, and then there was 135 for the heavy steer axle, and then there was something else because I added weight to the, I said, you only allow me 6,900, I have to shift it somewhere, because I said, I know my gross weight with this machine. I scale, so can we move that weight that you took from the steer axle, can we move it to the drives? And I said, yeah, sure. But he never mentioned that will trigger another charge. And I think it was another $150 or something for that, for adding extra weight. I said, guys, what's going on? This is still summer, right? It's supposed to be the season when you have the maximum weights. Like, actually over here, that's why the roads are so bad, is because they allow a lot of weight, much more than in the States. But it's expensive. It's freaking expensive, you know? 650 Canadian. Well, you know, it's right now I checked the exchange rate, so it's $1.27. So banks will probably trade it at $1.25. So let's say what, $600. So it's $125 is $100 US, right? So it's like so it's like $500 US. Yeah, it should be like $350 US. I would be okay with that, but in this load, it's all inclusive. I really, you know, came to like loads where I send them the permits and they reimburse me. I think that's a much more useful setup. Basically, I get the rate confirmation, and at the bottom there it says rate is plus permits, and I always add US dollars, because they never write what dollars. I'm Canadian, they're American. The rate confirmation just says, you know, $. I said, wait a second, I don't want to argue with you later that, hey, you're Canadian, we pay you Canadian dollars. No. So I always open my little editing program and I add in red US funds. But so they do this rate confirmation, right? And then I send them all my permits. And okay, they don't sometimes, most often they don't reimburse your fees, right? Like the fees that your permit broker charges. So they just only give you back the face value of the permit, like whatever it says on the permit. Let's say, you know, $250 US. So what they do is they add all that. Let's say I paid $1,500 US as a face value on each permit. So they add all that, and now they issue a new rate confirmation where, let's say, the original load paid, I don't know, $7,000, right? Now there's $1,500, so now they say base rate $7,000, permits $1,500, total payable $8,500. But this load, she wanted an all-inclusive rate, and So I managed to bring it up a little bit, make it more fair, because I knew there'll be a lot of expenses. But for the trucker, it's definitely better when you add your permits after the fact, because quite often, and probably every time, it happens when I deal with oversized loads, which is pretty much all the time. So 9 cases out of 10, I underestimate the costs of permits and escorts. They're always higher. They're always higher than what you think they should be. But for these three, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, I figured out it'll be about 900 Canadian. I thought 300, 300, 300. Now Manitoba was 265, which is below the budget, but then Saskatchewan was 650. Right now 650 and let's say 250, that's already $900. But I checked the distance from the Saskatchewan border, Saskatchewan and Alberta, to my consignee, and I'm not going to Edmonton. I'm going more to closer to Red Deer, where actually I was last time I was here. Remember, that's where there was this nice welding shop. They made me those shims. Yeah. So now I still remember where the truck stops are, where I can park. So maybe I'll go to a hotel there. There was a nice motel with a big parking lot, and they allowed me to park there. So what I'm gonna do is, after I'm empty, I'm gonna ask the consignee to load the Jeep on my deck. But I'm not gonna disconnect the stinger. It's too much work. No, disconnecting is easy, but hooking that monster back up, it's so time consuming. So I'm gonna leave the stinger down on the ground. And we're coming to some construction zone. It's a beautiful day, and leaves are starting to turn. I would say, if you were to ask me Captain Sergei, what's your favorite time of the year, I would say it's this: Осень in Russian, the fall, autumn in British, right? I love this when the trees, start getting so colorful. Okay, what is this? Zipper bridge construction. What the heck is going on here? 80 kilometers an hour. Wow, I see some tire marks on the pavement. 60. Man, these people are not joking. Oh yeah, it's at the very bottom there. I see, like a kilometer away. Only one lane is open. So we have to go this way. I think there's a light. I hope it's not too narrow, but again, look at this beauty, right? I would say, out of these three provinces, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, I can tell you I like Saskatchewan because I grew up in Ukraine. And you know what Ukraine looks like? You guessed it, like Saskatchewan. Kind of like Texas, right? It's all plains, open fields, and a lot of, wheat and corn and stuff like that. But here they have so many lakes, and then like this, you see like this area with trees. and it's such open wide spaces, you know. Of course, the only drawback here, oh, and it's very close to Ukraine in terms of climate. Wow, 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 wow. These people are nuts. Speed limit 40 kilometers an hour. What the heck is going on here? All right, are we still good there? Trying to see how much. Just 14 minutes. What is that? Oh, 1 hour. 1 hour 5 minutes. Yeah, it's probably time to 46, 44. Who's driving 46? Oh, it's the guy in this lane. Okay, I'm gonna show you this, guys, because you need to see what they do to us heavy haulers, right? But again, I'm lucky that my dozer or pipe layer is 1110 at the bottom, which is 3.6 meters. Like it gets to 3.84 meters or 12.7 only at my chest level. So if you see, like there's a Jersey barrier over there. But like this is nothing. This is, compared to what I went through in Ontario, remember that 12.3 bridge? This is like child's play. It's a walk in the park, boys and girls. For Captain Sergei. These guys should have made it a bit more interesting, you know, more challenging. Like maybe throw a alligator in the middle of the road. Okay, no. These things are very nasty. My speed is 23 kilometers an hour. Yeah, this is a good chance to check the accuracy of your speedometer for free. And these guys, look at this. It's like somebody moved in here. They have houses and containers, everything. So yeah, they're fixing the bridge. All right, now we can go this way. Get out of the way of all those Korean and Chinese cars. Oh, Korean. See, in Saskatchewan, the speed limit is 110 kilometers an hour. 68 miles per hour. This is gonna be a long climb. Yeah, my fan is on because my AC is on. Yeah, gear 5 not gonna work. Gear 4, barely. Man. Okay, gear 4, we're picking up speed. High. We are flying at 24 kilometers an hour. 25. 6 low. Six high. We're doing good. 50 kilometers an hour, 30 miles an hour. 7 low. 7 high. See the fan started by itself. RPM. A bit rough, but she can take it. 8 low. Almost there. 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles per hour. We're flying, boys and girls. I almost feel like holding the steering wheel with 2 hands, but my right hand is busy on the shifter. I have to flip one less button. And we are in 8 high. 1300 RPM, 1310, 1320. Cruise back on. 56 miles per hour, 91 kilometers an hour. Please fasten your seatbelts. The next stop is roughly in 1 hour. Well, I guess this is it, otherwise it'll be too long again. And this is what happens when you don't have money for the car. See? Well, I'll try to do an unloading video. Yeah, that one died fast first because the battery is smaller. So I just wanted to say one last thing. So I'll make sure they're charged, and I'll try to do an unloading video tomorrow. Do you guys see this? I was hoping this guy would pass me. Basically, he was coming on Highway 2. I was driving on 11, right? And he was coming from Moose Jaw, basically, where Highway 2 connects with 11. And this thing is so huge, and so he has what looks like a tri-drive truck, tandem Jeep. Oh, it's a tandem trailer, and he has one pilot. And so I got my phone ready. I was hoping he would pass me, because that's just awesome. You know, it's such a huge load. You know, of course, I never do something like this. You see, that's his pilot. And so this is a huge truck stop over here. I'm still in Saskatchewan. Now, come on, what are you doing? You're like messing up my shot over here. Hold on. Guys, you're in for a treat. So I'm feeling like a little spy over here. So shooting from inside my truck. No, wait, that's too much. So it's a T800. T800. Yeah, it's a tri-drive. It's a tri-drive truck. The front axle is slightly smaller than mine, but look at that monster thing. That looks like yeah, that's a beam trailer. And wow, on this one they didn't take any wheels off. Oh, what? He wants to get fuel? How is he gonna do that? Oh yeah, and in the back, this guy has my favorite setup, 2+2. Check this out. So that's a cat. Hold on, let's see if we can see the. You see there on the front of the box, it says 7/7 pretty sure it's a 777G. Yes, it's a Caterpillar rock truck. Humongous. Like, a couple of times, you know, sometimes people ask me, you know, can I get a quote for something like that? I say, no, sir, you cannot. I don't do this stuff. Because, you know, I'm in Ontario, and something like this. Wait a second, so what is this guy doing? So he lined up behind this guy over here. I'm pretty sure he won't be able to go inside that. Oh, actually, wait a second. So he has two pilots. My bad. I only saw that black guy, the black truck. But he also has this white guy. But there's no way that guy can fit in here. So if I was him, I would probably park somewhere like me. You see, I turn around. Like that's the entrance. Like the guy came right. I did a big loop here, and I parked. You know, always park so that you're ready to leave. And over here, they of course they mounted all these. I don't know. They're trying to make the life of truckers hard. And over there, you cannot turn into this. Well, you can, but there's signs like every 10 meters there's a sign. No right turn for trucks. No right turn for trucks. So they wanted to go all the way back, and then turn into this, you know, dirt. Huge parking lot with some potholes. But I saw one guy sneaked in here, like where that truck is parked now. See that drive-in? That's where the entrance is, but that's only for this ESO. Basically, that's for cars. But some truckers, they can sneak in because this road here. See, then you take that road and you go like this, and then you make a turn in there, and you can get in. But they don't want trucks over here. And you see, I love my phone, so I'm using my Samsung S21. The colors look amazing, and I love the zoom feature. Like, I can go, check this out, I can go, this is 0.6, right? This is the wide angle. Then I can go 1, then I can go 3, and I can go 10, and I can go 20. Wow. Yeah, see, that's what you need. You need these cleaners, outside air cleaners for heavy haul. But so that's something I wanted to leave you guys with. Actually, wait a second. That's not a beam trailer, boys and girls. I just realized that's a regular trailer, kind of like mine. It's just that his axles are so wide that you see his front axle. I know they put some timbers in there because I moved something like this before, but without the box and without the cab. No, just without the box. Yeah, they're much smaller because that thing over the top, it's part of the box of the bed, right? And I think I moved, I forgot, 773. Not as big as this one. Yeah, it was, but something similar. But you see this? So his rear axle has 4 tires. Man. Some B-train having fun in here in the dirt. And so his rear axle has 4 tires, and you see that's what they did. They loaded. My phone tries to focus on the dirt of my window. So they loaded the inside tire. The inside tire sits on the trailer, but you see the outside tire is in the air, and the left tire, I know they put beams in there and they tie them down, because that's how we did it. But that's a monster load, guys. So anyway, so this guy has, yeah, so you see, 4-axle truck, tandem Jeep. Oh, wait a second, that's a special kind of Jeep. Check out the wheels. Yeah, sorry for the dirt on my windshield. Check out how many tires his Jeep has. His Jeep has 8 wheels on 1 axle. So that Jeep 8 times 2 is 16. So he has 16 wheels on 16 tires. So it's like it's pretty much like if you look at my Jeep, so it's like 2 of those. And I was thinking he has a 2 plus 2. No, I'm pretty sure he has the same setup in the back. Probably it's probably, if I go look, it'll be 8 wheels on each row, because yeah, this thing probably weighs, I'm guessing, I don't know, how much do they weigh? I have no idea. You guys look it up. 777G Cat.